Today we will talk with you about how to fix the curvature. I will show you one exercise, very effective for correcting specifically the position of the shoulders when they shift forward. That is, you can often see such a position of the blades, typical when they shift forward, while the hands are also in front. This position is bad because in it, there is an excessive shift of the center of gravity forward, to such an extent that the weight is practically transferred to the front part of the foot. Everyone knows a very good exercise for stretching the pectoralis minor muscle. For example, it's good to do this exercise in a doorway. You lean in and you can turn, but it's better to start with you beginning to shift forward. Put one foot forward and shift your center of gravity forward. Then put the second foot forward and you end up here. In front of your hand is slightly behind you. Position your hand at various angles, higher, lower, nearer, or farther. You can insert with a straight arm to stretch the muscles. Then you can add small rotations. All of this is good. But the downside of this exercise is that when you stop doing it, the muscles start to shorten again. While you're doing it, there's a feeling that the shoulders are straightening, the muscles are stretching. As soon as you haven't done the exercise for a while, everything tightens up again. The exercise I'm going to show now is more effective because when you stretch the muscle passively, that is, when you've stretched the muscle to a certain position and wait for it to relax. In this position, it's not used to working for you. You just add some volume of movement to your joint for a while, which then disappears because the muscle is not used to working in a stretched position. Here is one of the exercises that solves this problem. You start exactly the same way, in the same position, that is, you stand in the doorway, you also put your hand exactly the same way. Here you can start in a position where the elbow or on one level with the shoulder or slightly below, and here you start to move forward. That is, you put one foot forward, the second foot forward. Find the position of your hand where you will feel the stretch. When the stretch appears, the most interesting part begins. This is the first stage of this exercise. So you started from this position, and you start moving forward, 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 and your hand stays here, and you start moving with this hand. You make a movement up and down, up and down. That is, you make your hand work. The muscles that surround your shoulder joint, they are not just passively in this position, but you make your hand work. It starts to make a movement up and down, up and down. After a while, after a few such movements, you will notice that the muscles have relaxed. Then you can go a little further, make a little more forward movement. That is, the muscle will allow you to make a further forward movement. Then you start to make movements again, up, down, up, down. So this is the first version of this exercise. The second, more interesting, allows you to stretch the muscle much faster. To not torture yourself for a long time, do it this way. You also find the extreme position in which the muscle no longer allows you to move forward. Then you take your elbow and lift it up here. The muscle no longer allows you to shift. That's it, it's stretched out. And usually in this case, you have to wait until it stretches. But you lift your elbow up here, that is, you tear your elbow off here. No matter how stretched the muscle was, you would still be able to lift it. Now you are pushing the brush away with your fingers. And you have an extra range of motion, and now you are holding your hand here with the strength of your muscles and taking a step forward. Now you do the same thing again. You lifted your elbow, moved the brush, and pushed forward again. You can make several such movements, and it seems that the hand does not go any further. You have to wait until it relaxes. But this movement will allow you to take another step forward. It appears to be the extreme point now. No, you can take another step forward. Every movement has a limit. It's enough that you can turn up to 45 degrees relative to such a head position. The hand is positioned like this. That's enough. No need to move further. The most interesting thing is that when you will be doing this movement, first you remove the elbow, then the rest of the brush. Then you will notice that from this position you will not be able to remove your hand immediately. But if you first make a movement with your elbow, then with your brush, then remove the brush, it will mix. Then, to move further, again with the elbow, made a movement, then with the brush, and then place the brush vertically. That is, there is such a trick in this exercise, and therefore you will notice that the muscle does not stretch especially. In order for it to relax, it is necessary for the elbow to mix well first, and everything else will mix behind the elbow. And if you start to pull and push your elbow here, you create tension in the muscle that you want to stretch, then you won't get a stretch. That is, you need to remove the elbow, then remove the rest of the flesh, and then you will have a reserve of movement. We moved forward, removed the elbow and brush again, allowing for more movement reserve. And the most interesting thing is that this happens with many stretching exercises. Now I'll show you with the spine. Look, you've put your hand, and from this position it seems like there's no further movement, no motion. You've lifted the elbow. See how far it can go without changing the body position. Now you've pulled the brush back, the brush itself has been removed back, and you can already move forward. Now again, you've removed the elbow, removed the brush, lifted it, and again you can move forward. And it seems that you don't really need to stretch the muscle. In this position, you start to move up, down, up, down. You can shake your hand so that it gets used to working in these positions. Why is this important? This allows the muscle to work in this stretched position. That is, it gets used to holding the hand. So train this way, do this exercise. About how to make this exercise a daily movement, how to make it so that you don't have to do it. We will talk in our group. There we study all these exercises step by step. The link will be under the video. See you soon.